So I'm going to start with the repairs on the bumper now, and I'll start by sanding things down a little bit. So I've identified 4 areas for repair. There's that bit there that needs to be taken care of. This is the worst bit of damage, is here. This bit, and it goes way to the front as well there. I want to also repair that lug here, which is a bit ugly, and also that there. So, I'm going to get the angle grinder on it now. I've got the face mask on at the moment, so I'm probably not very clear. So I'm going to just tether those down a bit, the repairs. Right, so the next stage here is to, in this particular crack here, the other 2, yeah, so this one and this one, I think that one will be okay, although it's basically what we need to do is, we need to drill a hole here. There's a slight crack at the bottom here, so I need to drill a hole about there, and also, this one goes straight through. So I'll probably have to do that on the other side because the crack has gone already past the end here, so I'll probably have to drill the hole on the other side. But I'll turn the bumper around anyway and have a look at it from the top. So drill the hole there at the end of that crack. Cut a few pieces of fiberglass down to size now. I'm going to start mixing some epoxy with the hardener and start putting it in place. So I made a bit of a mess of that. There was an air bubble in here which I'm going to have to sand out completely, but I've sanded it down a little bit now. And to be honest, it's not looking too bad. It's really solid structure as well, that repair. The other one there, yeah, it needs to be cut down a bit now, obviously. So it's not looking too bad at all. Quite pleased with the way that's come out. And proceed to sand it down a little bit. So I've managed to sand that down now to a reasonable level. There's a couple of low spots which I need to take care of. Well, actually 3. So we've got this bit here is a slight low spot, and there's one low spot there, plus that's slightly indented there. So 2, 3. I'll address those now. Right, so I've just finished giving it a rub down with a 40 grit sandpaper, mostly by hand, partly by machine. But, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it a good clean, soap and water, and then maybe a bit with a rub down with acetone or something like that. And I'll start with the first plastic primer, and then probably some filler primer on top of that. and start sanding it down from there. So I've given it a rub down with 40 grit, then 80 grit, then 120 grit, and it's a final rub down, just giving it a 240. Wet sand it completely over, just so that the primer will bond properly. So I've just sprayed it, rubbed it down with 240, just sprayed it with the plastic adhesive primer, which is basically this can. So the next thing I'm going to do is spray some next bit of primer filler on there. So let me get that. So I'm going to spray this on it. Primer and filler it's called, Grundieren und Fuller, German. So I've put a primer filler on there now. The good thing about that is you can see all the many imperfections like there, but yeah, there's a load there as well, which you can see. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but I'll let this sit overnight to dry. There's plenty of stuff there that needs to be corrected, and there, plus that bit there that all needs to be corrected, sanded out and reprimed. But yeah, I'll let it sit overnight, I think, and then come back to it and make the corrections. So I've sanded down now all the bits that I think, all the imperfection bits, and yeah, the next stage is I think I'm going to do is I'm going to, for example, here I've exposed a little bit of the fiberglass again, so I'll put a bit more plastic adhesive primer on there, and I'll start trying to fill bits that I think are yeah, a bit low. So let me put the primer on first. I'm getting to the point now where I'm quite pleased with the quality and finish. Most of the pinholes and cracks I've managed to eliminate. So what I basically do, the technique I'm using is to spray it with this filler, and then yeah, I can see where the imperfections are, and then I've got some very much finer filler. This stuff here, where you don't need to mix it, but I mean it's okay for small cracks, and then I just go and fill out the pinholes and minor cracks with this until, yeah, basically I get to a finish where I'm happy with it. Then the next stage after that will be to go down to 400 grit sandpaper and then 600 grit, give it a good clean down with acetone and start the spraying process. So I've done the final preparation work now. Just giving it a wipe down with acetone, and I'm going to start spraying. And my setup for spray, I'm going to use a very small spray gun to do this. I've got a pressure regulator attached to the bottom there and a very small spray gun. The reason I'm using a very small spray gun for this is obviously, most of the paint work on such an item is small nooks and crannies, so very few large areas to spray. Of course, the middle bit there, but that's not so important because it'll be covered by a number plate. So yeah, so let's see how we get on. You see the spray paint is there. It is heated down here. It's important to keep things warm, but it is heated down here, and yeah, but I put the paint there. It's slightly warm on the radiator there to warm it up a bit. So I'll mix that up and put it in the spray gun, and let's see how we get along. So the first coating has gone on. I'm just speaking through my face mask at the moment. The first coating is on the bumper. Just a light dusting. So I've given it 3 coats, and overall I have to say it's not bad. There are 1 or 2 little blemishes which I'll probably correct. Today we're on Tuesday, and I'll probably correct them by Thursday and just give it a light going over. For example, there's a slight blemish there. Yeah, a little bit there. That could have been a little bit better. And, we're talking about really being pedantic here. But yeah, I thought these were fish eyes, but they're not actually. There's very, very slight markings there that I can see. That's not been sanded down particularly well either. Probably could do with correcting that a little bit. Yeah. But overall, slight marking there as well. I would probably correct that. But I'm quite pleased with the results for a first. I'm not particularly experienced with spray painting, but yeah, I tried, as I say, a different setup this time. Went for a much smaller gun. One of the reasons is, well, I've got a fairly small compressor. It's that thing there, and it does struggle to keep up with a spray gun. You can't use a gravity feed, a normal size gravity feed spray gun with a compressor that small. Even this spray gun here, which is tiny, that struggles. The compressor struggles to keep up with that, but it does work reasonably well, I have to say, and it did the job okay. There was, yeah, it's just about adequate. As I say, it was for this kind of job. I would say that's just about the ideal spray gun, because you fill it up once and it gives you enough paint to do the first coat. You fill it up again, it gives you enough paint to do the second coat, and yeah, so as I say, I think I'll pack up for today, but come back to it and have a look at it either tomorrow or Thursday. So I've filled in the places where I've seen some slight imperfections, right there and there. And what I'll do now is I'll give it another rub down with 600 grit paper and see how smooth that is. Yeah, I must have been a bit careless with that bit there, and there's a few scratches there which I didn't sand out properly the first time, so hopefully I'll get it right this time. So I've sanded all the bits down again, and I'm just preparing to paint to give it another coat to cover up all those bits. So I've just put a couple of coats of clear coat on there. It's very orange peely, which is not great, but other than that, it's well, I guess it'll have to do. It's there's a couple of runs as well which I got caught out with. There's one sort of there, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Another one up the other side. Yeah, there, so I'll correct those afterwards. Yeah, I'll leave that a few days, I think, before making any corrections or anything like that, let it dry and cure properly. What can I say? Well, the spray gun, yeah, the tiny spray gun. It works very well with colour, so base coat works very well, but with clear coat I don't recommend it. It's not getting enough material out, so yeah, I'll probably use another spray gun next time I come to spray clear coat. What I'll do is I'll probably put this video together now, and then when it comes to assembling the bumper, I'll put that in a separate video, I think, to put all the parts, and I've got a couple of other bits and pieces to do before I put this back together. Yeah, and then I'll connect up the radiator, the pipes, fill it with oil and see if it'll start. So, stay tuned.